Do you like my hair curly or straight? Comment down. I'm just kidding.
Hi guys, and welcome back to Third Act Thursdays. This week's video is going to be talking about Mamma Mia from Edinburg High School. We're super excited to talk about it. It has a special place in our heart, and we hope you enjoy. So let's get right into it. We're going to continue with the same rubric we used last week, where we kind of break it down into each element of the show, just so that you guys can keep track of which elements we're talking about.
Yes.
And it can kind of give it an organization type of flow, I guess, for the video. So we'll start with the production itself and the technical element. One thing I thoroughly enjoyed was how the set moved and how it was built. I felt it kind of resembled ours a little bit, but I felt that it was very structurally sound and it supported the actors when they were on it or when they moved it, and it flowed very well with the story and how they moved it as one piece. I really enjoyed that. I felt the costumes as well were also very cohesive. They complemented the scenery very well. The color scheme was perfect.
Going back to the set, I believe we replicated the Broadway and the tour set. So I think that's where the similarities lie.
Yeah.
And I think they did the same thing, which was pretty cool. The only thing that I noticed was different is that theirs flowed a lot easier because they had handles on their set.
Yeah.
And they were able to pull it a lot more efficiently.
One thing I liked about their set too was the pillars that they added.
Oh yeah.
Because it kind of gave me that like Greek vibe kind of thing. I think it added a little more depth to the set itself too.
I loved the flowers that they added as well. Those were really, really pretty. It looked really nice. There was a moment where they brought down the hanging lights.
Yeah.
And then there was also a moment when they brought down like a silver background.
Yeah.
That looked like a confetti kind of thing. Oh, that looked
like
so
the streamers,
pretty.
right?
Yes, the streamers. There you go. That's the word. Like visually, that was beautiful. I think the costumes were really great for their time period. And I think that they replicated the Dynamo's costumes from the Mamma Mia 2 movie.
Yeah.
I think. I'm trying to remember it correctly. I think
the color
so.
scheme was very similar too.
But I think that the way that they used them, like, they were really pretty. Honestly, I wished we would have done that.
Yeah, I
Mamma Mia,
I think that would have been cool.
I think the Dynamo should have had like those shiny
Yeah.
costumes. The only thing with the makeup that I would say I did not like was the fact that they didn't age them properly. Like the Dynamos looked very, very young, and I wish that they would have added some gray hair, maybe some lines, maybe just something to define in their faces and in their character the fact that they were older than everybody else.
Yeah, I think I would have loved to have seen that in the guys as well, the three dads. I thought it would have added just a little bit more because I did feel their costumes were a little more relaxed, which of course they're in Greece on a vacation. Yeah. So I felt like that kind of made them look a little younger than they're supposed to. I felt Harry's costume was good. It was professional enough for him to feel like a businessman, and it fit his character very well. I did feel that certain actors tried to make up for that in how they spoke to certain people. Like I felt like Donna especially, I believe her name is Robin Martinez. She did a really good job of distinguishing like I am Sophie's mother on how she spoke to her. I did like that. A few of the things that I felt like they lacked, for me, some of the actors had a hard time, and we saw this a lot. If you watch our other videos, we saw this a lot. Some of the actors had a hard time with their pronunciation of certain words and their diction, the clarity of how they said the words. I kind of felt like certain scenes lost their oomph, for lack of a better word, because it was kind of like, wait, what did you say? And like, we know because we were in the show.
We were in the show. We know the lines. But for the people that don't know the script and don't know what Mamma Mia is really about, like they weren't gonna be able to catch it.
I felt like the comedic timing, like the comedic lines, were what suffered in that aspect because Mamma Mia is not a comedy, but it's not a comedy, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean? So it kind of,
I think it is a romantic comedy.
Well, but I don't think it's just comedy. Like, I think it's supposed to be fun and quirky, but I don't think it's supposed to be comedic at all. I don't think the plot suffered at all. I think with the way the story flowed and how the actors, delivered most of their lines, I felt the plot still stayed true to the original plot, and you were able to follow it even if you hadn't seen the movies or the show itself.
One thing that I do want to talk about with the performance element is the music. There were some moments that, for me, it sounded like either they didn't have a speaker facing them or they just couldn't hear the music. I don't know if it wasn't loud enough, but at some moments, either some kids would go off key or they would just... The tempo wasn't right, and it hurt me because I love the music so bad, and I love this musical, and those moments I was like, it's understandable. It happens all the time, but it's just I feel bad for them for the moments, those little moments.
Yeah, and I felt like in certain parts, not all the time, but you could see it on their faces.
Yeah,
like, I gotta push through this.
Was going on.
I gotta push through this because if I don't, it's gonna ruin the whole moment. Also, adding on to the music, I really, really wished that one thing I liked about our performance, and again, not to compare them, they're two different things.
Yeah.
But one thing I really enjoyed about our performance was the harmonies.
Yes.
And I missed that a lot in the show. I really did. I thought the songs that didn't have harmonies were okay. I didn't think the harmonies make or break the song, but they do definitely add
some emotion to it.
Yeah, and that whole experience, it kind of brings everything together, in harmony.
One song that I would say, not that it needs it, but I would prefer with, or that I would have preferred with harmonies is Chiquitita. Because in that song, you can tell how close all the dynamos are just by harmonizing.
Yeah.
And you can tell how close of a connection they have.
For the direction of the musical, I felt... One thing I liked is that they used every inch of the stage. I say that a lot. I know I sound like a broken record, but I really do like when schools utilize every inch of space that they have, because some schools don't have that. Some schools don't have big stages, and you have to make a whole environment in what you have. And I think when schools use every single piece of that stage, it really adds to the story.
Yes.
During one song in particular, I believe it was Gimme, Gimme, Gimme.
Okay.
I want to say it was Gimme, Gimme, Gimme. Gimme, Gimme, Gimme. Gimme, Gimme, Gimme. They... This is going to sound like me contradicting myself, but I felt like they tried to push too many actors to be on the stage at one point, one time.
Okay, yeah.
I'm all for utilizing space, but that song doesn't really need that. It is an upbeat song, and, it's... exciting and fun, but I felt that they could have used just the same amount of space with slightly few actors.
Okay.
Because I felt like it brought the performance a little down, because you want to focus on the three dads and Sophie during that song, and I kind of lost that a little bit, because I was focusing on all the people that were around them. I did want more energy from some of the ensemble members, because some of them were killing it.
Oh, yeah.
Some of them were on it the whole time, and I really enjoyed that, and I wanted that energy from everyone else.
Dialogue-wise, I think the strongest were the three dads.
Yeah, I agree with that.
They had really, really good dialogue the entire time. They never dropped it. One character that I was so in love with was Frankie's character, Harry.
Okay. Yeah.
He was really, really good.
Yeah.
He made me smile the entire time. And it's just the connection that we have with the show. It just...
Yeah.
The one character who I thought was very solid in their voice was Martin, who played Sam Carmichael. His voice was so beautiful. So beautiful.
Yeah, I was not expecting that voice to come out of him.
Yeah, no, me neither.
Yeah, when he came on stage, I was like, okay. Okay. And then he started singing, and I was like, oh, okay. I see you.
Another voice that I really, really liked was Savannah's. She played Rosie. The only thing was with Rosie, at the beginning of the show, I couldn't find her place in. And then it wasn't until she sang her song that she was completely solid and she was completely in character. And I loved it. Yeah. I loved every second of her song, Take a Chance on Me. And it was just hilarious, the way that she pulled that off. It was hilarious.
Very unexpected because for most of the beginning of the show,
She was very quiet.
yeah. And I think I was expecting, because like Tiffany and other people that I've seen do the role, they kind of do it a little over the top.
Yeah.
Kind of like in the movie, if you've ever seen it. And so I was kind of expecting that, but I mean, obviously props to her for taking it and running with it and making it her own. That's awesome. Then when she pulled it out during that song, I was like, yes, yes, this was great.
Another voice that really stood out for me was Donna's voice.
Yes.
Classic. Her name is Robin Martinez, and she was solid. The one song that like really got to me was Slipping Through My Fingers.
Yeah.
That gets everybody. Everybody that's you know, that wants to get
in
married.
general.
Anybody that wants to get married. If you listen to that song, it's so
I mentioned this a little earlier in the video, but the ensemble did a very good job at creating the atmosphere. One thing that I really did enjoy was how during a scene with the main cast, while it was happening over here on this side of the stage, in the background, in the taverna, there were things going on. People waiting, eating food, or just drinking. I really think that that added depth to the environment. It felt like an actual, you know, taverna that was being run. And, you know, while this was happening, other things were happening just as well. And it kind of gave you that glimpse into the whole world of Mamma Mia.
Overall, Edinburg High, you had a beautiful, beautiful show. It was so much fun to go see it and reminisce about those beautiful, beautiful days.
Yeah, it was very nostalgic for us. Very, very nostalgic. I really enjoyed it.
It was our last summer.
Yeah. I hate you. I hate you. I really thought it was cool how 3 different schools got to do Mamma Mia for this season. We didn't get to see all of them, but it was really cool to be able
That was the only one that we got to. Oh no.
Well, I saw Harlingen.
I only saw one Mamma Mia.
Yeah. And it was just so cool to kind of like think back when we were rehearsing.
And it was fun to go back to the same place that we did it.
Yeah, that was cool too. That was cool.
Now, for our Diamond in the Rough, we have Victoria Cisneros. Yes. She was one of the ensemble members that we could not keep our eyes off of.
Not for one moment. Every time she walked onto that stage, that's where your eyes went.
Yes.
I thought she was a great dancer. And
oh my gosh.
From what I could hear, there were moments where she was closer to the front of the stage, and I felt like her voice was on point too.
Her voice was on point.
And I think she's definitely deserving of this, because it just goes to show that just because you're an ensemble member, it doesn't mean that your performance can't be just as great. Every actor is important to the story, every actor is important to the performance, and without actors, there is no story, there is no show, there is nothing. I'm excited to talk about this next thing, because we finally have the same favorite performance from a show.
Yes!
And this is what, like our 5th or 6th one? 5th?
5th.
5th.
And we only mentioned it until we picked it.
Yeah,
we picked it.
We try to write our own notes like separately. This week, our favorite performance was SOS with Sam and Donna, which was Martin and Robin. I thought the way their voices blended together in the song was beautiful. So magnificent, and I love to see them on stage together, and the chemistry they had, I thought it was really, really cool.
It was so sweet.
And they did such a great job. They did such a great job bringing out that aspect of Sam and Donna. Okay, that's it, right? No outro?
One thing that I do want to mention is, like, I wasn't jealous before we met. But every man that I see is a potential threat.
And that's all we have for you today, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you enjoyed it. Next week, we will be talking about Newsies from Edinburg High School.
Ooh!
Super excited about that one as well.
I forgot!
As always, remember to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, and Instagram, as well as subscribe to our channel down below. Again, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.
Bye! I want to know how many people actually make it to the bloopers part of the video.
Definitely a hideout. Okay, ready?
Got him. Yo, look at my nails though!